But listen, I haven't prepared much. I haven't prepared anything.
It's not supposed to be prepared, man.
I agree. No, I agree. It's fine. It's fine.
I don't think it must be prepared.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just natural. You
No,
know what
that's
I'm
fine.
saying?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. You're Mr. Natural on the video anyway, so we'll be fine.
Basically, Dave, it's just this question that I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know what to make of it because I don't know what to answer. And I'm sure you can answer it for me. Okay.
Okay.
So here goes. Number
All right.
one.
Okay.
Why do I always feel so tired?
Why do you always feel so tired? Look, that's definitely not going. That's definitely not being cut out. That's staying in the video. That is
That's
staying in the
staying in the
video.
video.
I'm not cutting anything now. This is in the video.
No, leave it in the video. Look,
It's
no,
staying.
man. You see, the thing is not. It's something that I can't understand. It's like on a normal day, right? I get tired. I usually take a nap after lunch. Take a nap, and then that gets me going. Then I must now go coach my 4:30 class, 4:30, 5:30. Then I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? But like, so I get up in the morning and I don't do anything. I don't do anything. When it comes to lunchtime, I have lunch. I take a nap. Then I'm up. I'm still doing nothing. I do the one Zoom class at like 4:30.
Yeah.
But then I'm like dead tired. I've got no energy. I've got no drive. Like someone that's been at work all night. I'm just tired. It's weird. And I'm eating and eating and eating. Like you're building, you're putting in energy, but you're not expending the energy, but you stay tired.
Yeah, you like sleep tired rather than energy tired.
Yeah, it's almost like you need a nap to recover from the nap. That's weird.
Yeah, and you're not sure why.
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. Neither do I. I have
I don't
no
know
idea.
what is that.
I have no idea. Well, good luck with it. Good luck.
Dave, you are a professor, man. You must know these things.
No. So I mean, obviously you're completely out of your routine. So maybe that's adding to kind of stress levels. Maybe there's even an element of like a sort of state of depression. When you get super stressed and there's sort of elements of depression, who knows?
It could be,
I also, getting up and moving around and going to your different activities and venues outside of your house can obviously invigorate you and maybe keep your adrenaline up, but who knows? More than that, I can't help you, I'm afraid.
No, it's fine. I can see you out of that's not in your element. Maybe you can help me with this one, right?
Okay, talk to me.
This is my main worry.
Okay.
I think I'm losing my gains here, man.
Okay.
I'm losing my gains, and like I'm doing a couple of workouts here and there, but it's not the same like when you're in the box. I'm not working out with that same intensity and. Someone isn't there that I can watch and see, okay, wait, I need to pick up the pace or whatever. So, but I am training. But I've got a feeling I'm going to lose some either strength or cardio. My cardio was also going to drop, but like, is it going to drop by much? I know it's going to, but by much or what?
Okay, so firstly, yes. Yes, you will lose gains. Almost certainly, for a couple of reasons. I mean, it's a very simple principle. It's the principle of detraining. When you train, you're sort of exposing your body to a whole host of different stimulus. And when you stop that, you remove the stimulus, you're going to suffer from detraining. So it completely depends on what you do outside of your normal routine. In other words, now that we're in sort of a different routine. How much you detrain depends on how much you're doing. It's almost inevitable. We're not in the box. We're not in as often. We're not training as hard. So, and we're not training with the same kinds of weights as well. That's important.
Yeah, that's a big
because of the lack of the same kind of stimulus, you're gonna detrain. It's gonna happen. The only way you're not gonna detrain is if you keep doing the same kinds of things that you were doing before. So if you have the equipment and you have the space and you're still putting in the same amount of time and effort, then you won't detrain. The one thing that I would sort of note on that is the intensity thing is one thing, but sometimes we can push too hard when we're training, when we've got people around us, when we're in the box. Sometimes we can push too hard and we can push and do things that we probably shouldn't. And so in some ways it can be a good thing that we aren't pushing that hard. So I wouldn't see that as a complete negative, but yeah, you're going to detrain. In fact, if you stopped training altogether, some of your aerobic and cardiovascular fitness systems would start declining after as little as like 4 days. So 4 days without any exercise and you start detraining as far as your cardiovascular system goes.
Sure.
Strength fortunately lasts a little bit longer. So you can hang on to your strength a little bit longer if you stop training. The only problem is though it does take a little bit longer to come back. Okay, whereas cardiovascular fitness could take quicker to come back.
Okay.
But it is completely dependent on how much you do. There is another side to it too, is obviously yourself, myself, and many other people are using different kinds of equipment now. So we maybe not have the same broad range of pieces of equipment to use: rowers, ski ergs, bikes, running long distances, heavy weights, the rig. So we don't have that sort of broad arsenal of weapons at our disposal. So the other principle that comes into it, other than detraining, is the principle of specificity. And what specificity is, it basically means that whatever training adaptations you're undergoing on an ongoing basis, that's what will get stronger. So if you are doing squats, you're going to get stronger in squats. If you're running, you're going to get stronger running. If you're rowing, you're going to get stronger rowing. But for example, if you're rowing, you're not going to get stronger running. You're not really going to get stronger rowing. If there were movements that we could do that would spill over into other movements, we wouldn't have to do so many movements to stay fit. One of the big premises for CrossFit is that we employ a broad range of movements to make sure that we are functional in a broad range of movements. So if we limit the number of kinds of movements that we do on a daily and weekly basis, we will be limiting the kind of training effect that we get out. So that's another thing that we need to bear in mind. It's we're not only talking about intensities and consistency of training, we're also talking about the kinds of things that we do when we train. If that changes, then we will lose those sort of fitness benefits.
But now, okay. So I hear what you're saying. Like, my next question would then be, if this lockdown is finished,
okay,
how long will it take me to get back to where I was?
Okay, so that is.
But going back to the training, the same intensity and everything. Will I come back quickly?
Okay, so before we get out of the lockdown, all right, let's spend a minute or two in the lockdown and talk about how do we prevent losing everything.
I just want to get out of this lockdown.
Okay. So while we're here, we got to prevent losing everything. Okay. It's difficult because we don't have the weights. We don't have the equipment. So the thing is, we have to move. That's better than not moving. So doing something is better than doing nothing. Once a week is better than no times a week. And 3 times a week is better than once a week. And 5 times a week is better than 3 times a week, especially if you're in a well-structured program where you're allowing your muscle groups to recover and so on and get stronger. So just moving the muscles and the joints, that's going to keep the muscles at least firing and working, and therefore not detrain as much. So that's a crucial thing to do while you're in the lockdown, is keep moving and keep training. And don't stop and think, I'm going to wait until lockdown, then I'm going to come back into it. I'm going to use this as a rest period for however many extensions Uncle Cyril decides to impose upon us. So keep training and keep moving while on the lockdown, so you don't lose so much. Okay.
No, look, I am training here and there. It's like not as much as I want to, but like I said, sometimes I just feel like, sure, no, not today. I'm tired.
Yeah, but you've got
And what
time.
happens more often than not.
You've
So
got time.
now, huh?
You've got time.
I
You
know I've
can
got
train.
time.
So if you're not feeling as energetic as you normally do, you don't have to go out at 100 miles an hour. You don't have to train like you're trying to keep up with Gareth next to you in the box. Okay, just move. Don't put pressure on yourself. Don't put pressure on yourself to perform. Just move,
Okay.
have fun, exercise, get the muscles working, get the lungs going. Don't put pressure on yourself to perform at superhuman levels every time you train. Just move.
Okay. So
now, okay. So now we're out of lockdown.
Now we're out of lockdown.
Okay, we're out of lockdown.
I'm taking it easy now. I'm moving around, not putting pressure on myself. Right, 1st of May, Uncle Sam will say, "Yay, everyone can go back to normal." And then how long is it gonna take me?
Okay. So that's analogous to asking how long is a stick. So it depends. It depends on a lot of things. Yeah, how long is a stick? Who knows? Who knows? You know, it depends. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on what you did during the lockdown and how you managed to maintain your fitness and your strength during the lockdown.
Okay.
The more you maintain your fitness and strength, the easier it's going to be to rebound on every movement that you're suddenly taking up again. It also depends from person to person. So you'll probably find that you'll come out of lockdown and you'll still have massive shoulders and huge arms and a massive chest, whereas the next guy is going to lose it all. Okay, and that's very different. It's very individual. Not everyone is blessed with superhuman genetics, which just get better and better with age. So you can tell I'm resentful. So not everybody has that, but everybody's different. Everybody's going to work out differently during the lockdown. Everybody has different genetics, and you can't tell. Okay, but if you keep consistent and you follow the program, because in the program we're trying to make sure that all the movements are covered. Okay, we're trying to get some strength work in. We're trying to get all the muscles working, the core, the push movements, the pull movements, the squat movements, the hip hinges, all of the essential stuff. We're trying to get some muscle endurance. We're trying to get some strength work as well. If you keep that up, it should help a lot. It'll make your re-entry into normal training much easier. Okay. But it's going to take a good couple of weeks. It's going to take a good couple of weeks to get back into it. I wouldn't expect it to happen in a week. And I wouldn't expect it to take longer than a year if you've been doing something. It's not going to take that long. So a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks. And that's fine. I would, yeah. I would place like a strong caveat on that. And that is when you do return, you know, you've been missing the box for weeks now. You've been building up this anticipation of returning. That's definitely not getting edited. This is staying. This is staying. I'm not getting rid of that. Who's causing trouble in the background there, Naz?
Lieutenant, I don't know.
Is it? Where is he?
I don't know.
Okay. Get him to come say hi. He's slamming doors in the background. It's very disruptive. So expect it to happen in a couple of weeks, but the warning on that is that when you return, you're super excited to come back to the box. It's been ages and you want to make up for lost time. That is the worst approach you can take. You never want to think, I need to make up for lost time. I've been taking it easy and now it's time to sort of hit it harder than ever and get back to where I was. You will pick up an injury. So the idea is just to gradually come back to normal training.
But I mean, I think that is just human nature. It's like
totally.
We excited and just, yay, I had enough rest and recover now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Although not me, because you know what? If we're starting to fast now next week.
Okay. Okay.
So if this left, if the lockdown's finished, it's probably gonna open within the fast still. So
okay.
I was just thinking like I wonder how long it will take me to get back to where I was. Although I don't think I'm that far off, but I can feel definitely some of the my strength is going.
Yeah. So
And
you're right.
But still,
yeah.
I think there is a difference.
And you're right. It's human nature to want to come in and give it 150%, especially if you've been off for a while. That would be a mistake. That would be lining yourself up for injury. So I would really caution against that. I suggest that the approach should be to get moving, have fun, take it easy, a little bit easier than you think you should. So if it's the first time you've snatched in over a month, you need to approach with caution. If it's the first time you've done a muscle up in over a month, you need to approach with caution. Detraining happens quickly. So if you haven't done a muscle up, but you have been doing pull-ups, your muscles and joints are not ready for it yet. If you haven't been doing snatching with a loaded bar, your muscles and joints, it might not look like it, but they've become weaker, they've detrained, and they're not ready for it. So you need to come in lighter, easier, and softer for a while, and just build slowly back up to where, find your feet again.
Okay, so now, like, you know what, this is like a question that I got from one of the members, and I told him, you know what, I actually have no idea. I can't even keep track of the days, let alone what phase we're in, because they wanted to know the programming that we're doing now. Are you still doing it within the phases? Are we in a phase now, or are we just doing like general work?
Yeah.
I said, you know what?
So that's a good question. The answer is no. We're not in a periodized training plan at the moment. There's several programming reasons to that. To keep it simple, it's primarily driven by the fact that not everybody has access to the heavy loads that you would need for strength training, or the kinds of equipment that you may need for power training, the clean and jerk and the snatch, which would predominate your power training. So we're trying to hold on to a mix of strength, power, and endurance. The other thing to consider too is there is a level of supervision which occurs in the box, which allows for us to work a lot more confidently with complex movements, clean and jerk, snatch, heavy weights. We've got the capabilities of having spotters and safety and somebody sort of calling you out for form. With athletes that are sort of working on their own in the sort of privacy of their own homes, unsupervised, I have also taken the I've erred on the side of safety. So the movements that we're doing will be a little bit safer and less risky in that sense, stuff that you can kind of safely get away with doing on your own at home. Athletes that do have the equipment and so on, as will always be the case, they must make contact with you or I, so that we can sort of tweak the workouts to sort of allow for the equipment and the facilities that they do have. But because that and a couple of other reasons, we're on a sort of more of a general training program, which is a blend of sort of all of the modalities.
Then but then when we go back, would we start immediately on the phase, or which phase would you start on?
Yeah, so when we go back, we'll go into kind of a period of preparing to go back into a periodization phase. So we're not going to go from a general phase now to jumping straight into a strength program. Typically periodization programs do start with a strength phase, but we would do a preparatory phase. And that preparatory phase would build up into in a sense. It's kind of like preparing to train hard. We don't want to go straight into training hard and heavy and so on. So we're going to do a phase which takes you from home workouts into gym workouts.
Would you do some of the home workouts there at the box?
Yeah. We've got more equipment now. When we're back in the box after lockdown, we're back to full steam ahead. So we've got more options. So we're going to use those options, but we don't want to go from the stuff we've been getting used to and the specificity that we've been experiencing with the home workouts, and then radically change that immediately when we get back to the box. That would also be asking for injuries and trouble.
I think that's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Other than that, about general, like if I do get more questions from members here and there, then I'll let you know. We can do this again.
There he is. There he is.
It's Mikhail.
It's Mikhail. How's it going?
How come you shaved off?
How come I shave my head? Listen,
Yeah.
when you're in lockdown, that's what happens. You're next.
But men don't practice without long hair. The thing is,
man.
Once he grows hair long.
He wants to grow his hair long. I think it'll suit him.
But he's benching strong, no? Sure.
What's he benching?
What was your bench? 75 minute reps? 2. So he's 2 rep max is 7.
Okay. He's catching up with you now.
For 2 reps, sir. Not bad.
He's going to catch you soon.
Not bad.
And then we will celebrate. So, I mean, have I answered your questions satisfactorily?
You have, except for the one for the tiredness.
I can't help you.
I don't know what that.
I can't help you. I'm not to say that it's not something that you should look into. But you need to ask the right people.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Thanks, Naz. I enjoyed the chat.
Thank you, Dave. This has been an informative session. Please, can I ring up again if I got some more questions?
Yes, let's do this again.
I will definitely do this again. Okay. I'm assuming.
Okay, likewise. But this will have to do.
Others will have to do for now, I guess.
Yeah. Good. Thanks, Naz. Cool.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks. Bye. Maybe I stutter or I can't get to the word.
Just edit and chop if we need to edit and chop it for any reason.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll
for foul language.
For foul language, exactly.
Mine looks so dark.
No, mine looks blurry. I think it's also the view that you see is different to mine.
I think it's the lights that I got in here.
Good. Yeah. That's my light.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the difference between my lights. It's like.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.